So my video project is on Dante's Inferno, focusing in on Canto 3, but to begin with I want to establish some background on Dante, and I want to establish some background on the story, so I will briefly glaze over the first two chapters, songs of the Inferno. Um, so Dante was a medieval Italian poet. He mainly wrote his poetry in Latin, making it for those who were highly educated. He was heavily influenced by Virgil and makes Virgil his guide through the first book of the Divine Comedy. Um, Next important thing is Dante was in love with a girl named Beatrice. He fell in love with her at the age of 9, but he could not marry her because he was arranged to a young girl named Gemma at the age of 12. Dante never gave up his love for Gemma. Never gave up his love for Beatrice. He continued to write her sonnets and letters, and never mentioned his wife Gemma in any of the letters that we've seen. We being the scholars that I read this from. And Beatrice is his guide through the rest of the Divine Comedy for the Purgatory and for Paradise. And okay, so Dante begins being confronted by a beast. This is Dante right here. Being confronted by a beast. And he's sure that he's going to die. He's scared. But Virgil comes to the rescue and sends the beast away and saves Dante and tells Dante that he's been sent on a mission from an angelic being, and that he must take him to visit through the afterlife, starting with the Inferno. He explains that the angelic voice that he heard was Beatrice, and she asked for Virgil to go to Dante and guide him through the Inferno because she cannot go guide him through the Inferno because she's not a part of hell, but she can go through purgatory and heaven. So, yep, that now we're caught up. Now we're beginning chapter 3. Dante approaches the gates of hell and encounters a warning sign. Here's the warning sign with Dante and Virgil, or one of the two. Okay, the warning sign says, "Through me the way into the suffering city, through me the way to the eternal pain, through me the way that runs among the lost." And then to cut short, the sign basically explains everyone in here, every hope has been abandoned for all who enter here. Dante's not entirely sure what this means. He is confused with the warning sign and asks Virgil to explain what this means because he doesn't get it. And Virgil explains that the people here are miserable and have been forced to give up all hope. Moreover, they have lost the good of the intellect. Dante shares his experience in hell, talking about how all he could hear were sighs, lamentations, and loud cries that echoed the starless air. The atmosphere was so intense that it made Dante weep from fear and sadness for the lost souls. Dante explains that the dead contain the cowardly, hateful to God and to his enemies. They were never they who were never to live again were naked and stung repeatedly by horseflies and wasps that circled them. Dante is struggling with the pain that he feels for the lost souls and asks Virgil why they're so miserable and why they sound so defeated in their cries. Virgil tells him that the souls who lived without disgrace and praise, they were not rebels nor faithful to their God. So they weren't evil, but they weren't faithful to God also, but bad enough to be into hell, uh, the top of hell, not the worst of the worst. They're okayish people, I guess. But nevertheless, they are in agony, and they're lost, and they're sad, very sad. And so basically, Virgil's foreshadowing that it's going to get a whole lot worse than this, and Dante's already kind of beside himself. Uh, so they make their way to Charon on his boat, and he's yelling to the souls, "Woe to you, corrupted souls! Forget your hope of ever seeing heaven." And then he says to Dante, "I come to lead you to the other shore, to the external fire, dark, to fire and frost. Uh, you you are a living soul. Keep away from these. They are dead." Uh, there's they're trying to grab onto Dante, kind of like this. It looks like take him and take him in and be dead with them. He's the only living person to ever make it this far. Virgil says. Um, Not too many living people obviously go through hell. They make their way with Charon, the demon who will take them on the boat across the river of Ericon, also known as the River of Woe, uh, to begin their experience of the layers of hell. Charon is disturbing, but he is kind enough to keep the dead away from Dante. And Virgil tells Dante that no good living, as I said, no good soul has ever made it beyond this point. With that knowledge, now Dante has uh, he becomes again uh, nervous and beside himself, and he's so struck with terror that he loses all of his senses and passes out. So that's the end. That's where the Canto 3 ends. I hope you enjoyed my presentation. Thank you very much.